Everyone's Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 1. Today I'm talking about Episode 8, The Burial. In this episode we see a disaster rattles the Greendale community. Desperate to help, Sabrina attempts a new kind of dark magic. Yeah, so in this episode we see the disaster caused by two of the three weird sisters, as they are so cleverly called, I guess. But yeah, Agatha was the kind of ringmaster of those two, and yeah, so that this disaster ends up killing Harvey's brother Tommy, and so the whole town's a little rattled by that accident. Harvey doesn't want to accept it at first. His dad's ready to just bury his son's just helmet. He doesn't even want to go looking for the body. So it's a whole lot of stuff going on in this episode, a lot of emotions. But I enjoyed this episode because we got to see Sabrina for what she really is, which is a rebel. She cannot accept what she's told from her parents, but people, or not parents, but her aunts. Well, like when they say don't mess with this kind of thing, don't mess with bringing people back from the dead, and she of course doesn't listen. She does her own thing, which I love about Sabrina. It does always ensue. This is one where she does learn her lesson a little bit, especially in the next episode, after we get the consequences of Tommy coming back. That's right. We also get Tommy coming back, because it ends at the end of the episode. It just kind of alludes to the fact that he's back from the dead after Sabrina goes through with this sacrificing of Agatha, which is one of the weird sisters, to bring her back, and then to bring Tommy back, and then she brought Agatha back using the Cane Pit, which is a certain grave plot where Hilda always comes back when Zelda kills her. And I just like that little bit of kind of mythology and lore that they throw in there, the fact that it's connected to the Cain and Abel and the Cain's garden. I just really enjoyed that kind of that's just a little extra detail of thrown in the mythology to real types of mythology, or religions and stuff like that. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that connection. We get more connections when we get a little bit of background on Ambrose, when him and Father Blackwood are talking, and those were a couple interesting references, like he taught stage magic to Houdini and stuff like that. So that was really interesting to kind of just get a little bit more detail about Ambrose and what he was doing before he was on house arrest for the last 75 years. But we also in this episode get him being kind of, not like as Father Blackwood puts it, he can't completely get rid of his sentence or overturn his sentence, but he can loosen it a little bit. So Ambrose is getting a little bit of freedom, able to go to at least the Academy of the Unseen Arts until he's able to get pardoned. So I like that, because I love Ambrose being able to do stuff. I like him being in episodes. I particularly like in this episode that he's really, really hard on Sabrina about this one thing. There's certain little things, there's certain bits of magic that he's a little bit more like, okay, fine, Sabrina, I'll help you with the certain little things that maybe the ants don't approve of. But this is one of the ones where he's like this, and then the astral projection before, or two of the ones where he's just like, no, Sabrina, there are dire consequences to these things. Don't do it. I'm telling you, I know from experience. And she just can't take anybody's experience. So I like that Ambrose at least doesn't always go with whatever she says. They just have some things that he's like, no, we're not bringing zombies back. No, but come on, Sabrina. And Sabrina obviously has to learn this lesson on her own, which happens in the next episode. But yeah, another interesting thing that happens in this episode, we get Father Blackwood and Zelda having a little bit of an affair, and that's just an interesting little element, a little bit of extra drama thrown into the show, just because, well, Zelda's got to do something. She doesn't really do much. I guess she helps run the funeral home and stuff, or the mortuary. But other than that, she doesn't really do much, which is why Hilda went and got a job at the bookstore, because she needed a little bit more in her life. So I guess this is just Zelda filling her time a little bit. But yeah, that was just another interesting thing added. What else do I have written down? Oh, and I just like that that Sabrina and Prudence work together on this one to teach the weird sisters a lesson about not messing with mortals, and how that can expose the witches, and how it's just not nice to kill other people. So that was just an interesting part to see Sabrina and Prudence starting to get along a little bit more, and them, because I like when they get along more than when they're catty with each other, as it was called at one point, as I think Madam Satan referred to them as one point catty bitches. I think that's the last episode, actually. But yeah, otherwise, that's all my thoughts for this episode. Sure, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 1. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.